Hey, welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. Today is our monthly series, Social Bootcamp with Gogo Bethke. Now, Gogo Bethke came to the United States in 2003 to build her American dream. She was broke, she had no real estate experience and no sphere of influence, and also barely spoke English. Oh, and also only $6 to her name. So that left her with nothing else but Facebook to help build her real estate business, which is where she started. And over the years, she has created Gogo's Real Estate, and her real estate career has flourished. Now, with the power of social media, Gogo has sold over 100 million in real estate transactions. She shares the good, the bad, and the ugly of real estate, and her honest snippets into her daily life has earned her tens of thousands of social media followers. And in the real estate community, she's earned the nickname the Queen of Social Media. After being asked to present at various conferences and events with realtors, she built her own social media bootcamp for realtors called Gogo's Bootcamp. Today, she has a team of 588 agents nationwide. Her goal is to help as many agents as possible build a name for themselves in real estate utilizing social media. Now, if she can do it, a girl from Transylvania, Romania, with no formal education, no sphere of influence, no money, no experience, and an accent, then anyone else can do this as well. Please follow Gogo on Instagram at Gogo's Real Estate. Again, that's Gogo's, Gogos, Real Estate. You really should follow her to see what great real estate social media looks like. Also, consider investing in her social media bootcamp. You can find that we have a special offer for our Keeping It Real listeners. So just go to gogopodcast.com, gogopodcast.com. Gogo, welcome once again to the show.
Thank you for having me again. I'm so excited to be back.
Welcome back from your trip too.
It was nice. I went home. Anybody who's listening, I'm originally from Romania, and because of COVID and also in 2018, I started a new business opportunity, and I was so busy with it, I didn't go home. I figured I'll go home next year, and then COVID hit, and then it was still COVID. So It's been 3 years that I haven't seen my family and my sister and my mom and dad. So it was time to go home. And so I took 5 weeks off. Thank you for working with me on that. And I'm back. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And it's so great too. I know that realtors have always been more mobile than traditional, office workers. They've always had a bit more flexibility, although they certainly work more hours than traditional office workers, but they've always had a little bit more freedom to move around. But now, I'm seeing just even my friends who had the traditional 9-to-5 jobs, now they're vacationing for longer. It's just nice to start to be able.
Allows us to do that. Most of the jobs now we are doing through a laptop, really, a computer or cell phone, or and you can really do that as long as you have Wi-Fi or cell service. You have an office.
And while you were gone, your business didn't stop, and your recruiting probably kept going. I know Gogo is an incredible recruiter, but the beauty of what she does is very different, because I'm a real estate recruiter, and we're very proactive in the sense of we're always calling agents in our area saying, hey, come check out our firm. Gogo doesn't do that. And she actually, the way that she attracts agents to her real estate group is the same way that you can attract agent or clients to your real estate business. And I've always found that to be so impressive in the way that you do that. Is you're not out there making cold calls saying, hey, come join my team. You're saying, I've got all this great content. And by the way, if you want to join my team, you can, but I want you to get all this amazing content, which I think is it's the same thing you're teaching your agents to do with their customers.
And it's a double-sided serving, because that knowledge that I put out there for realtors, it switched through the years. Initially, the content that I put out there was for my potential client or my existing client to show the world that I am the local expert. And then that kind of turned into that I did become the local expert. And now I was helping and using my knowledge to help the agents locally, nationally, internationally now. But then you would think that only helping the agent, but that's also still making me the expert, because now my potential future past clients, they also look at it as, well, if she's the expert enough to teach other realtors, then she's the best.
Boy, what a great thing. And it really, it's a good lesson for our audience to think about is, how do you position yourself as a local expert? I was reading an article yesterday by Ryan Holiday, who is one of my favorite authors. He's really into stoicism and taking personal responsibility, and he's just a great guy. And he wrote this article called, I forget the name of it, but it had to do with this old thought of fake it till you make it. He goes, the problem with that is it's complete bullshit. He said, you're basically just lying to people. If you fake it before you make it, what you really have to do is develop skill. And so I think what you've done is such a great example of that. Is you became an expert, not just by calling yourself an expert. You're actually an expert, and you've proven that to your audience, and your audience would see through it if it wasn't genuine. Anyway, you've earned that title versus just calling yourself that title. And so I think that's always a good reminder for our audience to think about, well, how do I become an expert on social, in social media channels? It's like, well, you got to put out really amazing content about the local community.
It's okay to own up that you don't know something. Because initially when I started this, I was like, I am brand new. I don't have any experience. I don't have any clients to work with. I barely speak English. Like I don't know anything about real estate altogether. Like, what the heck, excuse my French, am I going to talk about? Own up to that. Own up to like, hey, I don't know anything about the title side. I don't even know how I got a real estate license, like how they let me walk out with the license in hand when they didn't teach us anything about title, and I can't close without title, right? In some states, it's attorney states, but in Michigan, we're title state. It's a huge chunk of our real estate transaction, and you learn nothing about it. But you're supposed to somehow, your license, go sell a house and figure out title work. Like, I don't know. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go and interview some local title companies. And then I owned up to it online of like, I don't know anything about title, but I'm going to go interview some local title companies so I can learn about title. And then when I learn about title, I'm going to share with you guys. And then when that knowledge comes out through your mouth, it makes you the expert. And then I took the people on the right of my career of like, I learned this today. What did you learn today? Kind of situation. And it's okay. I don't want to say, I do like the saying, they say that, fake it until you make it. And that comes in handy when you work in a brokerage and you don't have listings, and you can take somebody else's listings in the brokerage and market it on your page. Absolutely do that. If they allow you to do that, absolutely. That's where the fake it until you make it kind of comes in, because it's not your listings, but you kind of make it look like it's your listings.
Sure.
Allow you to use it. That's fine, because that's going to allow you to grow and get you more business and get that potential client they could have not gotten if you didn't have access to that listing. I get that, but don't lie about things, because it's going to come through. If you don't know what you're talking about, it's going to come through. I'd rather you own up to like, hey, I didn't know that. That's what I learned today. And then the more you learn, the more you become the expert.
And people really relate to vulnerability, to the sort of idea of being honest about what you don't yet know, or what you just learned, or, something that maybe isn't going perfectly in your life that you want to share. People relate to that a lot. I mean, that's what reality TV has sort of been so successful, is we're seeing, well, it's not always real, but it's some sort of version of reality. But if you can say, hey, I just learned this today and I want to share it with you guys, that's a great way. But I know today, but Gogo and I were talking beforehand about what sort of we wanted to sort of what our message was going to be today. And I was asking her about her thoughts on, so I know realtors wake up and they think about social media, and they're scrolling through everyone's, the different channels, Instagram, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn, TikTok, et cetera. And we're looking at all this content, and we may start to think, oh, I don't know that I have much to post today. Maybe I'm not feeling creative, or I just don't have any ideas. So we thought, okay, well, maybe in this episode of the show, we'll talk about maybe the other side of it, which is engaging with other people's content. So go ahead, Gogo, let's talk about it.
Which I think it's equally important, because it's not all about you. It's a two-way highway. You know what I mean? So you have to build those relationships. Many people think about social media as I made a post and where are the leads? Why are they not coming in? Like, I posted today, where's the lead? Like, it doesn't work like that. Think about it like when you get a cold client. So you get someone's information and you need to turn that cold lead, like massage them through the months and years and weeks or whatever, to turn them into a potential client. And then that potential client maybe signs a contract with you, and then you get to the closing table. So look at social media the same way. It's your pool of people, of potential clients. Everybody, I don't know a single human being who doesn't need a roof over their head. I don't care if they live in Alaska or Kentucky and you're licensed in Michigan. It doesn't matter, because there's this thing called the referral fee. So everybody in my mind is a potential client. So the way you want to do that is you want to have those relationships. So let's start with the easy ones, who's a past client already. So you want to make sure, because those are you already earned their business, but now you want to support them for the future to make sure that you can continue working with them and that you would be the realtor of choice in their future as well. So number one, make sure that you follow your past clients. You also want to make sure that you follow your ideal clients, because we all have those people that we wish they would buy and sell with us. So you have to make sure that you follow them. Now, here's another thing. You want to be active on their pages. So not just expect them of commenting when you close or this and that, whatever you posted, but you also take your time to follow them. And here's what you want to do. You want to set an alert. So those that are your potential ideal future clients, you want to make sure A, you follow them, and B, you can set alerts on their profile. So you can see when they're posting that, oh my gosh, they just got a puppy, okay? Or maybe they having a baby. You know what happens when they're having a baby? They usually need a bigger house. Or maybe they are getting engaged or getting divorced or whatever the situation is, keeping an eye on their account and then make sure that you comment. Now, here's another thing that I like doing. We have a storefront, so literally an online storefront with a company called Modern Laser, and they do all of our marketing materials. So all of our closing gifts come from Modern Laser, all of our birthday celebrations, everything that we do comes from Modern Laser, and it's pre-branded, which means one side of the product already has Gogo's Real Estate on it, or it has the Team Gogo organization on there at EXP. So whatever that we are using it for, it's already on there and it's branded. What happens when it's what's something branded?
Well, you get to, they're going to be reminded of who you are and what you do every time they use the product.
Plus, it's a marketing cost for you. You get to write off 100% of the gift because it's marketing. So when you keep your eyes on someone's account and you see that they just got engaged, you can send them something from there that has, so hopefully my friend is not listening to this because I just ordered it. And I can actually show it to you guys because you actually see this, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So we just ordered this. A friend of mine just got married. And so we just said, can you see it?
Yes, that's awesome. That's a cutting board.
Yep. So it's a nice big cutting board. This one, I want to say it's probably, the measurements are on there. It's pretty big, 17 inches tall.
Love it.
Yeah. So it's pretty big. And it says their last name on there, their first name, and then established and, their wedding date. And on the back, it says Gogo's Real Estate Team.
That's such a great gift because that's something I know for cutting boards. I probably use my cutting board 5 days a week at least. And most people are going to use that. And if they can be reminded that you have, in this case, you celebrate somebody's, wedding, that something emotional that is attached to that, whether it's, hey, they just bought a home through me, so I'm going to reference that, or I'm going to reference an event in their life, like a marriage, that's going to just endear them to you. And it's something they're going to be reminded of from a branding perspective every single time they see it. Or maybe not every time if they're busy, but most times they're going to notice that and be reminded of it.
Guess what else they're going to do?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Guess what else they're going to do when they get it?
What else are they going to do?
People usually unbox it and then they post a video about it. Oh my gosh, Gogo's Real Estate just sent this to us. Thank you Gogo so much. And then they're going to share it. And then people are going to be like, who is this Gogo's Real Estate? Like, what is going on over here? And then they follow us. And then you just grow and grow and grow. And that one little gift that you get to write off because it's a marketing cost now is working for you in multiple different ways. A, you have very happy past clients, very happy future clients, and then they spread the world by taking a picture and showing you the world what they got from you for their wedding, their baby shower. We even got, and this was on the Team Gogo side, where we had our babies, first baby boy and first baby girl in the Team Gogo organization, and so we sent them little onesies that said Team Gogo on it with their little Team Gogo's first baby girl, Team Gogo's first baby boy. You could be sending something like that, literally of like, congratulations, first baby of the Bethke family or whatever, and then put your company logo on the back. As long as your branding is on there, that it's branding, it's marketing cost to you. So you can think of, like, we just got 2 different mugs now for somebody else that's getting married that says so-and-so's husband and so-and-so's wife. So it doesn't say their own name on the mugs. It says the spouse's name and it's husband and wife. So, but on the back, it says Gogo's Real Estate Team. So you can, by keeping your eye on other people's accounts, it allows you to stay a part of their life, stay in front of them. It's not huge marketing costs. We're talking $20 a piece, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not the end of the day. And then just go through every day, see who has what's going on. Also, we have what's called the favorites list. So in our past clients, and if anybody wants it, I think it is in my Instagram profile. So if you go to Gogo's Real Estate on Instagram and you go to my links, you click the link. And then after you click the link, you're going to go to the links button. There's another links button. And there should be a thing that's called the favorites list. And download it from there. Here it's how it works, guys. When we get a client, we have them fill out the favorites list with one of our buyer's agent or listing agent, whoever gets the lead. And then they interview the client and says, okay, how many children do you have? What's your anniversary date? What address do you live on right now? Of course, if they buy a property with us, we're going to replace that with the new address. What are your birthdays? Do you have any allergies? Do you have a favorite restaurant? Do you have a favorite coffee shop? Do you have a favorite sport team? Because, for example, or do you have a favorite band? Let's say, for example, I get an extra Bon Jovi ticket and I'm like, I don't know who to give it to. Well, I go into my system because I have the favorites list. I know out of my past clients who loves Bon Jovi, and I'm going to call them. And I say, hey, Jessica, guess what? I have an extra Bon Jovi ticket and I see that you love Bon Jovi. Would you like to go with me? And then Jessica will be like, oh my gosh, yes.
Or you happen to see in social media that someone posts about something that you might have access to, and then that's another opportunity. So it's basically the same thing you were saying, but you can also use social media as like a research and development to see what are my clients into, what are they doing, and then you can make notes and add that into your CRM. Be like, wow, these people just came back from Mexico or wherever. Oh, it seems like they go to Mexico every year. Now I know something, and can think about ideas that might help them, with Mexico trips or whatever.
Exactly. And then you could also maybe just as simple as taking their picture that they did on their family vacation or whatever, and blow it up and put your company logo on the back and say, hey, I just saw this photo and I thought you guys look so adorable. Turn it into a little canvas, ship it to them. I'm
going to give everyone a real tip. I want to get your opinion. I thought of this gift idea. I gave this to everyone in my family. And I just realized I guess you'd have to figure out a way to brand it. But, even if you just put a sticker with your information on it, maybe there's a company that could actually officially brand it. But you just went on a trip. I'm about to go on a big trip. And the best tool that I have bought for anyone that goes on a trip is get a luggage scale. They're like $10, a digital luggage scale. And they're like this big. They fit right in somebody's luggage, because we always worry, am I overweight in my bag? Am I underweight? Nobody, you have to step on the scale first, then you have to subtract your weight. And it's a real headache to try to do it yourself. But this, you literally just hold it up an inch and it weighs the bag in 2 seconds, and it's like $10. I'm telling you, anyone who travels, if you see them coming back from a trip, send that to them. Maybe see if you can
definitely brand that. I'm sure you can brand it and have it engraved or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that since we're on trips, and like right now, my girlfriend's like, "Where's the luggage scale? I need the luggage scale," because we're freaking out about being overweight. So that's a great one. So you could literally just look at social media every day. Anyone who's just come back from a trip, say, "Hey, I just saw you came back from a trip. I thought this will be helpful on your next trip." Easy, $10, and you put your sticker on it, or you somehow get it branded. Easy. Absolutely. A couple other things, comments. Many people do we love comments? Yes, because Instagram and any other platform, they rate your site based on how much interaction you have. So it's not about how many followers you have. It's about, do they take the time of the day to leave you a note? Do they take the time of the day to watch your video in full? Do they take the time of the day to DM you? So you want to have interaction on your site. That's the most important. So when you get a comment, don't just leave it at that. Respond back to them. The more back and forth you have on that post that you just made, the better it's going to perform. Number one. And number two, don't and also take the time to go and comment on other people's posts as well. So maybe you just take 10 minutes a day, you sit down with your morning coffee, and you take the time and the effort to go and comment on 10, 20, 30 people's posts, because they're going to reciprocate it and they feel the love from you, especially if they're clients of yours. If you set up your notifications, then you're going to get notified when the client posted something, then to go and comment. So it's going to take you 2 seconds. It's going to notify you that so-and-so just posted something. All you need to do is go and comment. Okay. And everybody on social media knows who comments on their posts. We all know who does it, and we know who doesn't comment on our posts. And most of us probably look to see how many likes we got and who liked the post as well. I mean, unless you have a big massive account and you're getting thousands of likes, which you're probably not, then looking through. But if you're getting, a dozen likes, under 100 likes, you're probably looking to see who did that. So definitely like these posts as well. But commenting is huge, because even if you don't pay attention to who liked it, who comments.
Exactly. And the comment has to be at least a minimum of 3 words. It cannot be just cute little emojis, because that in Instagram and Facebook's eye, it's not a comment. So whatever you do, make sure that it's thoughtful and you actually took the effort, and make sure that you actually read what they're posted.
Yeah.
You don't congratulate someone on their dog dying, those kind of things. Like, just make sure that you actually took the
Or don't
time.
click the like button if their dog died.
Exactly. Like, what I mean? Like,
make sure it's a sad face, a crying eye face if you're going to select that. But
time of the day. The other thing is sharing their posts. So if you have a big platform that can help someone, let's say they're running a donation for their children's school or something like that, take the time and effort and share it over to your business page. So then they feel the love, you help them, get whatever they are working on. Make sure that you donate, you take the time to, you spend. I'm actually awful at that. It does not come natural to me. It doesn't, even when I see those things, it doesn't cross my mind that I need to do that. I'm married to someone who's amazing at that. Like, literally, we just came back from Europe, and one of our best friends' son graduated, and we missed the graduation party. I didn't think of it, because in my mind, we already missed the graduation party. I didn't think of it to still send the gift. Does that make sense? But my husband did. So if you're not that thoughtful, then maybe marry one that is, or or hire one that is, or maybe just hire a virtual assistant who keeps an eye on your sphere of influence, who reminds you of, like, hey, so and so, we have 2 birthdays this week on your Facebook, we have 2 anniversaries this week on your Facebook, someone's mom just passed away this week on your Facebook, someone just got a new puppy this week on your Facebook. And then, Friday, maybe you assign 2 hours every single Friday morning, and that's when you send your handwritten notes, you order your personalized gifts for everybody, and then you're good.
That's such a great point. You said something I just want to spend just a quick second on. Gogo said, we know as real estate agents, sometimes we're working 80 plus hours a week. We're not sleeping enough. We're not spending enough time with our families. We're trying to get deals closed, and we're dealing with, challenging clients sometimes, or challenging realtors on the other side of the deal. And just all the intricacies that take up our time. And we think, oh God, now I have to go into social media and comment, for 20 minutes a day. And I just don't have time for that. Well, if you truly don't have time for that, then Gogo just said something very quickly, but very important. You can hire somebody to monitor your social media, meaning monitor your customers' social media and report back to you about major life events or anything that's noteworthy. So if you're like, oh God, now I have to figure out when people get back from vacation and whether kids are graduating, I don't have that time. You can pay somebody, and even if you just paid them for an hour a day, that's enough. And then they report back to you. And that would be what, maybe $10 if you hire somebody from outside, from like a gig economy sort of scenario. It might be $10-15 a day. Boy, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
So virtual assistants usually charge between $4 to $6 an hour.
Right. Right.
So think of it this way: even if they work for you, let's say for $5 an hour between the middle, and they work for you 4 hours a day, it's $20. You're telling me that if you got one, let's say they do that every day, so we are talking $100 a week, $400 a month. Okay. If you get one measly transaction out of it, what's your average commission?
Yeah, let's say it's a $300,000 house, 2.5%. So $7,500 total commission. Let's say you're at 70% split. So I don't know, was that $5,000 or so, something like that?
So let's say you take home $5,000. If I told you, give me $400 and you can get $5,000 back, would you do it?
I do that all day long.
I'm going to ask you if I can do it 10 times today and 10 times tomorrow.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, but most people look at it as an expense. They don't look at it, that activity is going to generate results. So there's no freaking way. Then if you did that week after week after week after week, then in 4-week period, you're not going to get a lead that you can close.
So I'm going on a vacation for 3 weeks, and I have a virtual assistant, and she is monitoring my voicemails, my emails. And she's been on our team for years now. So she's, more like a true full-time coworker, but anybody could hire her and they could do those kind of tasks. So really think about it, is what's the stuff that you don't have time for, but would be great for, keeping in touch with your sphere of influence. And they can look through your social media. Why not? I mean, mine does that in a different way for social media, but she's constantly in my account and reporting back to me, and she'll be reporting back to me every single day I'm on this vacation with, what I need to know so I don't miss anything.
Yeah. So in my case, we have multiple virtual assistants as well. I haven't checked an email or a DM in any other platform, but Instagram is the only one that you personally get me. And every other account, I have virtual assistants. But here's the thing, I do not give them access to my account. So for example, my assistant has access, or we created one for her. It's an actual Instagram account called Gogo's Assistant. So this way you can create an account for your assistant that's called DJ's Assistant.
Yep.
And they can keep an eye on your account just like another user can keep an eye on your account. So she can say to you, or he can say to you, oh, DJ, I don't know if you missed this, but this person commented this and this. Can you personally get back to them? Or if somebody's trying to get a hold of you, or that Mariana is my assistant, says, oh, hey, this is Gogo's assistant, and it says Gogo's assistant, in her official profile as well, and says, hey, this is Gogo's assistant. I'm the gatekeeper to her calendar. I would love to give you, her time slots. Email me at this email address, and she takes it from there.
Yeah. And that's a lot of virtual assistants. So I have a similar setup where they don't actually access my account, but they are admins on my accounts. Yep. And so they have access to my pages and my groups and everything. And then they just go through it and report back to me. But yeah, you don't have to necessarily turn over your actual login and passwords for a lot of people. That won't be comfortable.
And be careful with that. Make sure all of your accounts have two-step authentication, because you never know what's happening. But there's multiple ways how you can skin a cat and get help. You don't have to do all this on your own. And it's absolutely working. You just have to think ahead of why we are doing this, what's the result we're expecting. And even worst case scenario, if you get one lead that closes, you're going to make your money 10 times than what you're going to invest into that activity. So that's that. The gifts we talked about. So we talked about the weddings, the babies, the engagements, the graduations. The other thing that I do that I think is just a little more special is a voice note. So instead of messaging someone back, number one, my voice note situation started because I don't have time to type up a 2-pager. If somebody asks me a more detailed question, when I do have time, I'm probably in the car driving, or I don't have time. You know what I mean? So when I'm driving, then I don't want to type it all up. So sometimes I just grab my phone, push the little voice note button, and send a voice note back. And I just think it's so much more special that you took the time of the day. So for example, let's say that you see on some past client's profile that it's their birthday today. I'm not saying go ahead and post, oh, happy birthday, blah, 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 all that you do, miss you, I wish we can have a drink, kind of situation, whatever you post on their side, but then take the time and go send them a personalized voice note and say, hey, Jessica, I said that's your birthday today. I want to personally tell you happy birthday. Or let's say they got a new job. Hey, Jessica, this is Gogo. I see that you got a new job. I just wanted to personally congratulate you. I knew that you wanted the job for so long. I'm so excited for you. Let's have a drink. You know what I mean? So you took the time of the day. Number one, when you leave voice notes, you always call the other person by name. Why? Because they know that message was just for them. Right. It's not a message that I just sent out to 300 people, number one. Number two, people like to hear their own name. They like to feel acknowledged. So when you're leaving a voice note, you don't say, hey, this is Gogo. I say, hey, Jessica, this is Gogo.
I love it. It's funny. You just reminded me, this is sort of a silly thing to bring up, but it's a neat thing. So most of us are probably, who live in the United States, are probably familiar with the restaurant franchise Hooters, right? And I won't talk about what maybe we might think I'll be talking about, but one of the things they teach the servers, the traditionally waitresses at these restaurants, is to, if you ever eat there, and I haven't eaten there in a million years, but when I did, I remembered that they would write my name down on the, they have a paper tablecloth, and they'd always take a crayon and write your name. And I always thought, I wonder why they do that. And then I learned later, the reason why they do that is so that when they come to the table, they always say your name, like, hey, DJ, what would you like for lunch? And there is something very intimate about using somebody's name, and it's very connecting. And so it's a really great thing when you're meeting someone new. Also, if you're meeting up, maybe it's a Zillow lead or a referral from somebody that you haven't met yet, and you're meeting them for the first time, use their name a lot. So I just thought that I'd throw that out there. That's what they teach the Hooters waitresses to do, and it works. It works for people to feel comfortable.
And also, are you the kind of person that people introduce themselves and you're like, what did they say the name was?
Right.
So many of us, especially for me, because my name is so complicated, I concentrate on my name. And so I'm in a circle of people. I'm like, I got nothing. I have no idea what they said their name was. And there's a trick for that somebody taught me. And I was like, oh my gosh, and it works. So when somebody introduces themselves and says, hey, my name is DJ, and they shake your hand, instead of say, hey, I'm Gogo, you say, hey, DJ, I'm Gogo. As soon as you say their name out, it's going to register in your name, in your head, number one. And number two, they feel acknowledged.
Yeah.
So I don't say my name first ever again. So now when somebody introduces themselves, I repeat their name first.
Smart.
Then I introduce myself. Because that way we're registered in your head. That's Jessica, that's DJ, that's Adam, that's Emily. And then I introduce myself. They get acknowledged and I learn their name.
And that's another thing you can do on social media that most people don't do, is when you're responding to someone's other person's post when they're back from vacation. Yes, of course, you can write, awesome, looked like you had a great trip, but you could say, wow, Kate, looked like you really had a great trip. That just takes one extra word by putting their name in, and it will absolutely register more deeply than one without their name. So even when you're replying to comments, you don't have to do it every time, but it's something that becomes just a slightly bit more personal.
Absolutely. And then if you want to take it even more personal, leave them a voice note and say their name out loud.
Yes.
Yep.
Boy, so many great tips. I think this is we should probably stop because I know you could keep going for another hour, but you're too busy for that. And I want to save stuff for the next time you're on. So I want to thank everybody for supporting and listening to our show. Of course, we want to thank Gogo. She is so insanely busy. Gogo, real quickly, let's talk about your team. We almost never talk about this, and because you never ask for this, but I want everybody to know that you are always looking for agents. Can you talk just a little bit about what your team offers you're with EXP, and and I'm only mentioning this because I'm a recruiter. It took me 11 years to get to almost 800 realtors. And this is what I do all day long. Gogo in about 2 years time has got to almost 600 agents. So we got to talk about this. Tell us, what is your real estate group and why is it so popular?
Yeah, so we call it the Team Gogo family. We literally are a family. We support each other. We call it a team, even though it's not a team as in real estate knows a team. I don't take a cut. Nobody owes me absolutely nothing. I'm not their team leader necessarily. We have agents, broker owners with 20 some agents. I'm actually bringing on now someone with 70 some agents on their team. So we have all kinds of, we have brand new agents. We have husband and wives. We have agents with multiple state licenses. We have many icon agents. So we have anything from brand new with the ink hasn't dried on their license all the way to been in the industry for 40 years and has their own team and their own brokerage. So the Team Gogo, it's more like a family and organization. When I got licensed, they recruited me all the time because I became, not very quickly, but about 3-4 years into my career, became a top producing agent. And then I got recruited all the time. In the meantime, I got recruited onto teams. And I had a really hard time with the whole team thing because I didn't understand. I understand if you give me a lead, then I'll pay you a cut. Right. But I had a hard time of, you're going to take a cut on my mom's condo.
Right.
You're going to take on a cut on the things I generated on open houses, the things I generated on my own social media. I had an issue with that. So I never personally joined a team because me personally felt the value in that. So now when I fast forward, I switched to, even at real estate when I had a small little team, but I always had a feeling in my gut. So, and then I went to color, and the same thing when I started my team and I had to take cuts on everything, I just like that feeling on in my gut. So then I wanted to do something where I can help other agents, where we can have this community, where we can coach together and train together and do all this real estate thing together. We can support one another and refer, most importantly, to one another before we would refer to strangers, but they don't owe me anything. I don't take a cut of their transactions. They don't owe me anything. They're not building my empire. Nobody's running under the Gogo's real estate brand. Everybody's building their own brand, but I am their business partner. So we are literally in business relationship together, like married in this real estate industry together. So we get to do this together more like a mastermind. We do trainings 4 times a week. Every Tuesday, we do an icon series. That's where our icon agents train the agents who want to become icons. So they hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Wednesdays is production training. I'm really good with numbers. So we just did numbers this yesterday. Thursdays is technology. So anything from Google Drives to how to create your electronic signature to CRM programs, automated drip campaigns, whatever we do, any systems, any apps, anything that I use. Christy, my right hand, who's technically left hand because she's left-handed, she trains everybody on the nitty-gritty of technology when it comes to real estate. Every Friday, we do an agent attraction mastermind because many of our agents are building their own organizations and their own teams. So we talk about how to grow a team nationally and internationally, and then all of my boot camps. So the Gogo's Bootcamp agent attraction course, and then the Gogo's Bootcamp social media course, both of them are included for all of my business partners. So all 600 of them get it for free. My goal is to make sure that they reach their goal. And that's pretty much it, what Team Gogo is. It's a business partnership without you ever paying me as much as a penny.
I love it. And if you're not interested in switching, brokerages or teams, and you still want access to all of this great training, she's got her boot camp, and we highly encourage you guys. It's, I was just thinking about it while you were talking. I was like, how much would I pay realistically? Like, what would it actually be worth if I got 5 deals out of it, right? So if I that's all that ever happened, well, that would be probably what, $25,000 in commission, somewhere around there. So like, it would be reasonable to think, well, she charges, 20 grand for this service, but it's way, way less than that. So check it out. Go to gogopodcast.com and look at her boot camp. It's a wonderful introduction into how to become better with social media as a realtor. She uses the exact same strategies to how she became a top producer, is the same thing she's teaching. And, by the way, you could always join her team too, if you wanted more in-depth, support and all the resources that EXP provides through Gogo. But check out her bootcamp. Even if you're perfectly happy at your firm and not going anywhere, her bootcamp is absolutely worth purchasing. And even if it just does one deal, it's probably like a 20,000% return on the investment. So guys, again, total no-brainer. Go to gogopodcast.com. Gogo, thank you once again for being on the show. We're so honored to have you come on every month, and we know how busy you are. So congrats on the wonderful trip with your family over back to your homeland. And we're glad to have you back in the US. And we will see everybody on the next episode. Please, guys, before you sign off, just think of one other real estate professional that could benefit from hearing this interview with Gogo. And guess what? Everybody in your office could benefit, because everyone's social media could get better. Send them a link to the show. Just we'll go to gogopodcast.com too, but also send them a link to our show, which they can find right at keepingitrealpod.com. So thank you so much. And Gogo, thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.